Taylor Rapp here from the LA Rams. Shout out to Steve Taylor, the real sports guy, and the honorary Ram. When Steve's talk sports, you better listen. Thanks, Steve from the Rams, for your continued support and love.
Thanks for watching Keeping It Real Sports.
Yes, sir. Rocky Yassin, Keeping It Real Sports.
Appreciate you, brother. All right, man.
With Prince Bell, we rocking with Keeping It Real Sports, and we gonna be on this. We gonna be here a lot of times. I love the platform. Check in, it's the new wave. Like, follow, subscribe, and do all that good stuff.
Come on. I told you I got you. Wanna talk about the game, he can talk about it. Tennis, match, golf, he can talk about it. Don't matter what it is, he can talk about it. Any sport dude, he know about it. Save your boy bum, don't doubt it. If he tell you that it is what it is, the real sports guy in the sand. Talk show game in the bag, man. Rep, don't have to throw the flag, man. Steve Taylor, and it's over. OVA, game over, they don't play. From the fourth quarter to the ninth inning, NASCAR wheels keep spinning. To the 18th hole, he's still in control. Guy on the go. Coach never missing the play, cause he know the deal. This keeping it real. Sports. Come on. Keeping it real. Yeah. Let's go.
Edition of Keeping It Real Sports. We're on now 3 days a week. Make sure you keep plugged in. Make sure you follow me on the Keeping It Real Sports Network. That is the YouTube Keeping It Real Sports Network. Join us there or join us on the Keeping It Real Sports Network on Facebook. Make sure you like, make sure you follow, make sure you subscribe. I got a great show planned for you today. I'm so glad that you're in the house with me, ready to rock and roll. I got Jason Rollo coming in pretty soon, man. We're going to break down everything that's sports related as we're in the middle of baseball, football, hockey, and basketball season. And speaking of basketball, shout out to the Las Vegas Aces as they go back-to-back, defeating the New York Liberty last night, 70-69. Asia Wilson is your MVP. She went for 24-10. So your double WNBA back-to-back champions is the Vegas Aces. Much love to those ladies and Becky Hammond. But, you know, as I always do, something is always bothering me. I call it hot off the press. Let's see what I got hot off the Keeping It Real press right now. I want to go to Micah Parsons and what he has to say about the Cowboys being judged on a different scale. And, you know, Micah, I get what you're saying, the sentiment of don't throw shade on us without the same energy that we throw toward the Eagles and the 49ers. But see, you brought, and I mean your Cowboys brand, brought this on yourself more so than anything. So don't get mad, lashing out at the media because you had a bad game. See, the problem that I have with Cowboys fans is they're delusional in the fact that they think everything is good. Let me rephrase that by saying, you know, winning is the biggest deodorant. When things stink and you win, you think everything is just fine, but are they really just fine? Are they really just fine, Dallas? Are they really just fine, Micah Parsons? Let's listen in particular the rant that he went on talking about his quarterback.
So why is it that we are just scrubs and we're nobodies that don't deserve to be on the field and we're just all talk? But there's 100 excuses for these other teams. If y'all just want to hate Cowboys Nation, just say y'all hate Cowboys Nation. I'm tired of people trashing my quarterback. I'm tired of people trashing my team. And that's why I had nothing to say to the media this week. You want to hear me talk? Come to hear me talk on The Edge Monday night.
Here you talk on the edge, why don't you just try saying something that's kind of pertinent, you know? Because, see, if you're glossing over the particulars, because the particulars in this fact is the fact that you guys didn't play that well. You won the game you won the game because of Brandon Staley. Brandon Staley is just not a good head football coach. Let's just call it what it is, people. Brandon Staley's not a good head football coach. Period. End of story. You won the game despite 11 penalties. See, that's the same kind of lunacy that got you kicked out of the playoffs last year. Remember, you had 14 penalties in that game. 11 penalties, but you won in spite of that. You won in spite of muffing the football on the 10-yard line. See, you won in spite of that. See, I'm just keeping it real. You're winning in spite and not because. Winning is the biggest deodorant. And to talk about that is a Cowboy fan, man. Ironically, man, let's bring him in. Jason Rollison, man. Welcome in, man, to today's show, sir. And Jason, man, I'm talking about the rant that Micah Parsons is going on, man, where he's calling out the media, finger pointing, if you will, so to speak. Man, give me your thoughts on Micah Parsons and his innate soliloquy, if you will.
Keep breaking up. Hey, man, I keep breaking up. But you ain't going to be bashing my Cowboys, though, Steve. I missed what you said because I keep freezing up, man. I got some new equipment over here, and I keep...
Well, look here, man. All I'm saying is it's not the bashing. It's not the shade that we're talking. A lot of it is because of the Dallas Cowboy brand. See, let me tell you. Do you know the voice of ESPN that calls football games is a former Cowboy? The voice of the Fox, the number one Fox broadcasting team, is a former Cowboy. The voice of NBC Sunday Night Football is a former Cowboy. See, you bring this kind of thing on yourself because you play for that brand. And if you can't take the heat, then get the hell out the kitchen. That's all I'm saying to Micah Parsons. So I'm just the guy that's going to keep it real. That's what I do around here. And speaking of keeping it real, hey, look, let's get into baseball, man. Hey, baseball going off now, man. It is the race for October. Let's do it. It is the race indeed for October. It's the Texas two-step, if you will. It's the Texas Rangers and the Houston Astros, the world champions, going at it in the American League Championship Series. And boy, did this one get off with a bang. The Houston bats were silent in Game 1 as the Texas got great pitching. Man, they come alive. They get enough runs to win Game 1. They go up 1-0 in the series. They come back on Game 2, and they actually get a chance to win Game 2. So as we look at Game 1, Game 2, they go up 2-0. Astros rebound the other night with a big win. So the series is now 2-1 heading into Philly. The thing that kind of I find funny about the world champion Houston Astros' inability to win at home, man. I just don't understand why they, for the love of me, why they can't seem to pull it together at home. They get on the road. They seem to get it done. We saw last night. They came up, showed out. Altuve goes deep. Man, he seems to be the catalyst for their offense. When he's going, they get going. He led off with the home run. Our Astros rebound. They're back in this series 2-1. I can't wait till tomorrow night. This is going to be the chance. We're going to find out really when the rubber meets the road. Find out what the champions are all about. Which brings me to what's going on in the National League. And when I look at the D-backs, there's not a lot to celebrate. as we even enter today's game 2. It's being shut out right now. The Phillies just pushed one across late in the 7th. They're in the bottom of the 7th right now. Phillies lead it 1-0. They're looking to go up 3 games to none in this one. But man, when you look at this, it's all about the long ball for the Philadelphia Phillies. They're just powering their ways to win. They did in game 1, came back. The bats totally came alive in game 2, where the Phillies showed up and they showed out, and they're really playing long ball. They take the 2-0 series lead in this one. It feels like, to me, a lot like Texas, Philadelphia. I'm just saying. So there you go. That's our baseball for coverage right now, but let's get into college football, man. I'm going to give you this week's college football poll. See, the BDI has been at work again. We've got major changes. It's been a shakeup in the poll, man. I'm going to give you the keeping it real college football poll. So stay tuned. Let's do it. So we get into this week's college football poll, man. It's brought to you by Foster's Barbershop. Thank much love for you guys been getting it in. But the number 10 team, we've got a brand new number 10 team in the country. Join it. Yes, I finally came around. Yes, I finally looked into it. Yes, Aller, the quarterback from Ohio, who is now the Penn State quarterback. Yes, the Penn State Nittany Lions finally cracked the Keep It Real Sports top 10. We put him in at number 10, but you got a big one on Saturday against the Buckeyes. More on that one a little bit later. The number 9 team in the country is the Oregon Ducks and Dan Lanning, and I have a problem with Dan Lanning right now. Is it ignorance or is it coaching arrogance? That's what was the question on Monday. Was it coaching arrogance, coaching ignorance, incompetence? As Dan Lanning left points on the board at the end of the second half, at the end of the first half, consequently losing the game by 3 points. But you have to look at the defense of Oregon. You have to look at Bo Nix. And the other thing that I really didn't like is how you take Bo Nix on a 4th down and roll him out, basically cutting the field into a third. You really shrunk the field, man. Oregon, still good. Clean it up. We got to see you more down the line. You got bigger games. We got you at number 9 in the country. That is the number 8, the Texas Longhorns. And Texas got off to a fast start, but they're starting to sputter a little bit. They've got playmakers all over the place, man. I absolutely love Steichen and his ability, Sarkisian, I'm sorry, and his ability to dial it up, the big plays down the field. Texas, a very talented bunch. I have them number 8 this week. Number 7 is a new team, is the North Carolina Tar Heels. Why? Have you seen their quarterback, Drake May? Have you seen their wide receiver, Tez Watkins? Oh, Walker, they'll be on Sundays, playing on Sundays, so you might want to pay attention to them. They've got big-time talent. The North Carolina Tar Heels, they cracked this week's top 10 at number 7. The number 16 is the Florida State Seminoles. And, you know, I understand Travis Benjamin and company. First, they've got big-time playmakers, but it's just something that seems to be missing about Florida State. It's just something that seems to be missing about Florida State. I'm not overly impressed with Florida State, but they've got a big game on Saturday. We'll talk more about that one in a minute. That brings me to the number 5 team in the country. Yeah, Kenny Gibson, your Boomer Sooners, Oklahoma. Brent Venables fixed the defense. Brent Venables went to the transfer portal and fixed his defense. Did you see his quarterback, Dylan Gabriel? When he plays, he is electric. And we saw that on display. Full display against Texas. I like Oklahoma. That's why I got him at number 5. The number 4 team, as we get into our playoff teams, if the season ended now, would be the Washington Huskies. Boy, I tell you, Michael Penix Jr., his ability to throw receivers open, Michael Penix Jr. is the real deal. Odunze, the wide receiver on the outside, love him. They've got 2 other wide receivers that averages over 100 yards on the season. The Washington Huskies, the real deal, people. Tell you what else is the real deal. The Buckeyes of Ohio State. You got to like what they're doing. Kyle McCord coming into his own. The defense, a lot of veterans on that defense. The veterans really flying around the football, making big plays. They totally dominated Purdue on Saturday. A defensive performance for the ages. You have to like what the Buckeyes are doing and how they're getting it done. I have them at number 3. At number 2, the Michigan Wolverines. And I tell you, man, even though there is some rumblings about a sign stealing scandal in Michigan, well, I guess if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. That's one thing about Harbaugh. You know, it's enough to maybe push Harbaugh over the edge. Maybe going back to coach in the NFL at a place that he played, like Chicago. I'm just saying, let's keep an eye on that one. But Michigan, number 2. And number 1 is the Georgia Bulldogs. And we have problems there because Brock Bowers, their All-American tight end, goes down. He's going to be out 4 to 6 weeks. He had ankle surgery for a high ankle sprain. Boy, you know, have to take a look at that one as we look over the entire landscape of the top 10. I've got Georgia, number 1, Michigan, number 2, the Buckeyes of Ohio State, they tip in at number 3. 4 is the Washington Huskies. 5, we have the Oklahoma Sooners. Number 6, we've got the Florida State Seminoles. Number 7, the North Carolina Tar Heels. Number 8, we've got the Texas Longhorns. Number 9, the Oregon Ducks. And Penn State, the Nittany Lions. They finally cracked our top 10 at number 10. At number 11 is the Alabama Crimson Tide. Why do I have them at 11? They just seem to play with their food a lot, man. For whatever reason, just struggling with teams that they don't need to be struggling with, but they still get the win. They're good enough to win the games. Defensively, they're very stout. Jalen Milroe starting to come around. I like Alabama at a number 11. Number 12, making a big jump, is the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Did you see the beat down that they put on USC? Well, any questions? Maybe, just maybe, Kyle McCord is a little bit better than you thought he was, Buckeye fans. Huh? Did you see what he did to the Heisman Trophy winner last week, the Notre Dame defense? How they took him out back and took him to Trask. They took him, dropped 48 on him, made Caleb Williams look rather pedestrian, if you will. He threw 3 picks in that affair. Number 13 is the Utah Utes, and USC, don't look now. Here comes Utah. We'll talk about that matchup in a moment as well. Number 14, we've got the Oregon State Beavers, DJ Uiagalelei. Man, that team is starting to come around, kind of like what they're doing. And in Ole Miss, we've got them at number 15. So there you go. That's this week's Keeping It Real College Football Top 10, and we even add 5 of them for you. Okay, that brings us to this week's Pick 'em. Who you got? Since college football. So against the spread, college football games. Now, last week, 2-1 last week. Pretty good week. Man, we've had a winning season, and that's all that counts. That's the only thing that we look at is bringing you the dollars, and let's see the dollars that we're going to bring you. First up, the Duke Blue Devils. They visit Florida State. Florida State, 14-point favorites. Now, when you look at the quarterback for Duke, Riley, his mother texts him every game that he sucks to keep him grounded. This kid is indeed that. He's a typical dual threat quarterback, the ability to be able to stress a defense with both his arms and his legs. And for that, and that alone, I tell you, they've got a very stout defense. Man, Duke has been sneaking up on people. They really routed the same Clemson team that had Florida State on the ropes and probably should have beaten Florida State. And this one here, this one was pretty easy for me. Take the 14 points, man. You take the 14 and take the Duke Blue Devils. I like the Duke Blue Devils in this one. And I'm going to tell you one further. I like Duke to win. So there you go. I like them to win. Second up, Utah, we talked about Utah, man, a very physical defense, man. Cam Rising has a possibility of coming back. I'm sure this is the game that they were shooting for. If at all possible, he's ready to come back. This would be the game that I'm sure that they would showcase him in. Utah has been struggling offensively the entire year, but where they haven't struggled, that is on the defensive side of the ball. That defense is physical, and they're going to need that physicality as they roll into Southern Cal today. 7-point underdogs. To me, this one here is, again, an easy one because have you seen the defense of USC? Well, when physicality hits them and strikes them, they have a way of not showing up to the dance in this one. I'm going to take the 7 points. Give me Utah in this one. I like the Utes. Which brings us to the final game, the big game, the game, if you will, Penn State and Ohio State. And I like my Ohio State coach kind of ornery, kind of like
Coach,
this.
you knew this one wasn't going to be easy, but it came down to the wire. And what can you say about the performance from your quarterback, Kyle McCord, to finish that drive?
Toughness, that's it. Physicality, across the board, finish it off, having guts. You know, like I like to know where Lou Holtz is right now. What he said about our team, I cannot believe. This is a tough team right here. We're proud to be from Ohio, and it's always been Ohio against the world, and it'll continue to be Ohio against the world. But I'll tell you what, I love those kids, and we got a tough team.
What did they prove to you tonight in this victory that you'll take away and run with?
Toughness. Everybody's questioning these kids all the time. We had one bad half the last couple years. That's it. Everybody wants to question these guys. These guys are warriors right here to come back and win. This kid right here to come back in the second half and win. I'm emotional about this for a reason. A lot of people question these kids and say a lot of things about them. I love them. When someone attacks your family, to come in and win like this is special. It's a great win for our program and a great win for Ohio State.
Yeah, that was a great win for Ohio State. They're going to be tested again on Saturday, Coach, so you better get tough again. Ball your fists up and get ready to go at them on Saturday because Penn State is coming to town. -4 of the Buckeyes. People, this one here is an easy one for me. Give me the Buckeyes -4. Why would you do that? Because have you seen their defense? The Buckeye defense has been living large, man. I love the way the Buckeyes take the Buckeyes to win in this one. So there you go. That's my pick. Who you got for this week? Which gets me to our top 5 NFL teams. You know, we've been counting them down. We're gonna keep counting them down for you. So I'm gonna give you this week's top 5 power rankings in FL, and we're going to start with number 5. Number 5 is the team that we're going to see later on tonight. We're going to see the Jacksonville Jaguars. They come in at 4-5-2, 4-2, looking to move to 5-2, but we got them at number 5 this week. Number 4, we've got the Miami Dolphins. They're new to our top power rankings right now, but we're going to give them number 4. Number 3, the Kansas City Chiefs. And I tell you what, man, the Chiefs something seems to be missing, and I kind of think I know what it is. It's called Eric Public Bieniemy. Maybe the fact that he's in Washington has something to do with it. But Kansas City's still getting it done. Champions that they are. Number 2, the Detroit Lions, man. Who's going to argue with me about that? Man, why do you got them 2? Because they beat Kansas City. That's why. They got the best damn record in the NFC. So the Detroit Lions, they come in at number 2. And number 1, people, pump your brakes on this, man. San Francisco missed the damn field goal. If the field goal kicker kicks the field goal, man, we're not talking about any of this. You know, they would be undefeated, but, you know, give hats off to the Cleveland Browns for getting it done. Tonight, we've got Thursday night football. The Jacksonville Jaguars against the New Orleans Saints. Trevor Lawrence, questionable tonight. But my sources tell me that he's going to play with a brace on his knee. So look out for that. Trevor Lawrence. Really a chance for the Jaguars to kind of establish themselves as one of the upper echelons of the NFL. Real big chance for them. Real quick side note. The Jaguars have never won in Mercedes-Benz Stadium, the Superdome, the former Superdome. And Trevor Lawrence, only 2 losses in college was there. And you know those people in New Orleans believe in voodoo and all of that. I'm just saying, you know, the stuff that you do and the voodoo that they do, well, that's a bunch of doo-doo, if you ask me. And so Derek Carr had the ACL joint sprain, and he was completing 55% of his passes thrown 25 yards or more down the field. Since he's had that ACL sprain, he's completing half of that, 27%. So it's definitely a difference. A lot of the passing game generated by New Orleans is a short passing game because of the sprained AC joint that Derek Carr is suffering. And then they tell me that he's got a rib thing going on as well. So that's something to watch tonight. But that's Thursday night football as we look at it. You know, I'm going to give you the team, man. It's this one here. I've been following the line on this one. The line was 1 all week. Well, it's kind of gone up to 2.5 favoring the Saints, probably because of the uncertainty of Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence is going to indeed go. Sunshine. Give me Sunshine and the Jacksonville Jaguars in this one to move to 5-2. So there you go. Baseball going off, and it seems that the Diamondbacks finally have something to cheer about. So we'll keep an eye on that. We'll come back Saturday, and we'll talk more Major League Baseball. We'll talk National League Championship Series. We'll talk American League Championship Series. And then we'll look at the big weekend ahead. I've got a great pick 6 for you. The game of the week, the Lions against the Ravens. We'll get into that. We'll break all of that down. And, man, I got a whole lot more for you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and by all means, check out the new Keeping It Real Sports Network. I made it real easy for you to find me. Just go to YouTube channel, Keeping It Real Sports Network. It's that simple. Keeping It Real Sports Channel Network on YouTube. It's that easy. Man, it's been fun, but I got to run. I can't wait to Saturday, man. I've got a big one planned for you Saturday. So I will see you then. Until then, I wish you love and peace. Chuck them deuces.
Come on. Told you I got you. Wanna talk about his game, he can talk about it. Tennis, match, golf, he can talk about it. Don't matter what it is, he can talk about it. Any sport dude, he know about it. Savior boy bum, don't doubt it. If he tell you that it is what it is, the real sports guy in the sand. Talk show game in the bag, man. Rep, don't have to throw the flag, man. Steve Taylor, and it's over. OVA.